In this video, I'm showing you exactly how I turn my art into sticker sheets using Procreate and a Silhouette Cameo 4, and some trial and error from me messing up a lot in the beginning. I'll walk you through my whole process, from the very first sketch all the way to the final cut, plus a few troubleshooting tips that'll save you time and paper. And bonus, I'm gonna show you how to package these. I got you. Let's jump in. First off, we're gonna do a rough sketch in Procreate. The dimensions I use are 4 by 6 inches, 600 dpi, and CMYK color profile for best print results. I made the mistake of making art in RGB before, and the print was so whack that I had to start over again. If you want to see a more in-depth Procreate drawing process, check out my previous video. Back to the rough sketch. I like to use a blue colored pencil because it helps me stay loose with my sketching, and it allows me to explore without the pressure of it being perfect. God, that sounds so pretentious. Maybe it's a psychological effect knowing that the color is blue and it's different than the usual darker brown outlines that I use for my final illustrations. Before I pinch all the layers together to combine, I have each element on a separate layer so I can rearrange and resize them with ease. Also, I turn on the drawing guide and set the spacing to 1/4 inch. Why? If you want to buy your stickers in bulk at some point, the maximum spacing I've seen some sticker companies require is 0.25 inches between sticker elements. If you're doing this as a hobby, you don't need to do the spacing. But if it's been in the back of your mind to maybe start selling your sticker sheets, I think it would be good to do the proper spacing just in case you'd need to buy in bulk in the future. Trust me, I learned the hard way of needing to resize a bunch of my sticker sheets. Plus, it wouldn't hurt. At this point, I'm figuring out the best composition possible for the sticker layout. How did I come up with this? I wish I had a scientific explanation, but I really do just base my life off of what feels right. Kind of like stepping into a Trader Joe's. You go in for a few bananas and you end up leaving with 10 other snacks. You do you. I always forget this, but it's not just the drawing themselves that need to be 1/4 inch apart, but the outlines that go outside of the drawings, so it's going to make the drawing themselves bigger, those need to be 1/4 inch apart. So I need to shrink these drawings after I outline them and color them in. After I create all the outlines, I create a banner with the name of the sticker sheet. I'll just name this one Ube Cakes. I used to put my website on the banner, but I have changed my website so many times that I just write my name because I won't change that anytime soon. I check all the layers to see if there are any stray marks within the sketches because I don't want any of those stray marks getting cut out by the Silhouette machine later. The marquee or the dotted lines around the drawings will show the area that the drawing takes up. So if there's a stray mark, you'll be able to tell because the marquee is going to detect it. For the coloring process, I use the freehand tool to outline the sketch and fill it with a color of my choice. I like going for a warmer undertone, and I create a clipping mask layer on top of it. That's where I'll do my coloring. Once I'm satisfied with the colors, I pinch all the layers together and create one layer for each element. Side note, I love these little drooling strawberries. I don't think I've had ube desserts with strawberries, but I feel like it'd be a good combination. Now for the outlines. Before I begin, I change my background color to a different color just so I can see the white outlines I'm about to create. I have 2 ways to go about this. The first way, it feels like it takes forever. First, you'll take a layer and duplicate it. Hide the top layer and select the duplicate layer again. Tap the duplicate and click Alpha Lock. Now I go to my color palette and choose white or whatever color I'd like to use for my outlines. Tap the duplicate layer again and click Fill Layer. Tap it again and click Alpha Lock to make it a normal layer once more. Then I click the wand tool at the top and click Gaussian Blur. I typically bring it up to 5%. Finally, I choose the automatic select tool and tap the artwork, expanding it until the borders reaches its max right before it fills up the whole page. Once it reaches its max, you click color fill and it'll fill up the whole thing. I noticed that if I keep each artwork's blur percentage the same, 5% or whatever I use, the automatic select tool will fill each artwork automatically without having me manually dragging and expanding the borders. Just until you thought this was over, it is not. I use the monoline tool and smooth out the edges just so the cutting machine has cleaner lines, or else it's going to cut out each little jagged edge, and you wouldn't want that because it would take forever. I've done it before and I thought my machine was broken. It made such crazy noises. The second way is a lot simpler. I could just use the monoline tool to outline and drag the color in and fill in the remaining gaps. However, I feel like the first way is cleaner because it gives me more of an accurate outline and all I have to do is clean it up. The second way doesn't look as neat to me, but that may be a skill issue on my end. In order to save space on my file, since I'm limited to a certain amount of layers, I'm going to start combining the white outlines into a single layer. Yes, there's definitely a faster way to do this, but I like doing the outlines on separate layers first, just to make sure everything is neat for each element. I'm just trying to be extra attentive, or maybe I just traumatized myself from all the random stray marks I made on my previous sticker sheets, which ended up being cut out in my cutting machine. But I don't think that'll happen to you. In short, you can combine all the drawings in one layer first, then do one giant outline layer after. It's totally your choice. This is just the process that I go with. Now to show you even more of my neuroticism. Just kidding, I feel like I'm a very type B person. I duplicate each drawing, then I combine all those duplicates into one giant layer. Once I have that giant duplicate layer of all the drawings, I group that with a giant outline layer underneath. The original drawings will stay in separate layers in case I need them individually later on. Again, because of the limited layer capacity I have in Procreate, I can't duplicate all of my drawings all at once. It'd be so much easier. If you have a way that you prefer to do it, by all means go for it. I just like the peace of mind of having each drawing in individual layers without having the white outline combined. Once all the outlines and duplicate layers are done, I'm going to hide all of them and just keep the one giant drawing layer and giant outline layer visible. For extra peace of mind and to ensure that there are no stray marks outside of the drawing layer, I'll turn the drawing layer into a clipping mask over the outline layer, then I'll pinch them together to create a single layer. I'm going to slightly resize to shrink that entire layer since I need to have at least a 1/4 inch gap between each element. I'm using the freehand select tool to individually select each element while using the pages grid as my guidelines since I set them to be a 1/4 inch size squares. Just a reminder, I'm doing these gaps just in case I want to buy these in bulk in the future, since some sticker companies require a minimum 1/4 inch gap between each element. I have a confession. I committed a cardinal sin and didn't name any of my layers, but who cares? I care mostly about naming my grouped layers, so that's what I'll do. Also, I can't forget to take note of the brush names that I used just in case I need to make changes later on. For the background, I changed the background color back to white. You can go crazy with this. I've seen people create whole sceneries behind their stickers like kitchens, but I'm gonna do something simple like this gingham pattern in the same purpley color that I used for my ube cakes, just to make everything clean and cohesive. This is actually the first time I tried this pattern and I'm kind of digging it. It gives a picnicky vibe and the ube cakes are laying on a blanket. I brought down the opacity just so the user can distinguish that this is the background. Once that's done, I pinch it together with the banner layer that I created earlier and I drag that entire background so it's underneath the entire sticker layer. Oof, now the illustration part is done. It's time to export. I've done this in 2 ways and the way I'm showing you is definitely the more tedious route. I don't know why I do this to myself, but you can export 2 separate PNG files. 1 is the background and 2 are the stickers. That's the easier route. The way I did it is 2 separate PNG files. 1, the entire artwork with the background and stickers included, and number 2, the PNG of the stickers again. I just like doing it this way because I can use the entire artwork as reference to size my sticker PNG accurately when I import it into my Silhouette Cameo studio. I'm just minding the gaps between the stickers once it's fully printed and cut. This video should really be titled How I Tediously Create Sticker Sheets, but I'm looking out for you. I'm just making sure everything's as accurate as possible. Finally, let's go into the Cameo Studio. In a new file, I turn on registration marks so my machine can accurately read where everything is located when it's time to cut. And I bring the inset all the way down so I have as much cut room as possible. I drag the entire artwork into this file and I make sure to resize it down to 4 by 6 inches. Then I drag my sticker PNG file and I use the entire artwork underneath as reference to resize the sticker PNG. This part, I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit tedious, but I never regret taking the time to do it. Once I found the proper placement for my sticker PNG, I select both layers, then click Shift and click the artwork layer underneath to deselect it. Then I group the sticker PNGs together. I have to do it this way because if I don't, once I go into the cut settings, it's gonna read each element as separate cut layers and it'll be tedious clicking each one. That way I can just click one whole group. Next, I'm gonna click this little star icon and choose internal offset. I'm just gonna go as small as possible with the internal offset so the cuts are a little inside the white outlines. It just ensures that it doesn't include some of my background into my finished cut stickers. To make this entire process easier, zoom in as much as you can so you can distinguish between the internal offset lines and your sticker PNG's lines. I like to drag the PNG out of the way, and once it's out of the way, I delete it. If I accidentally move the entire artwork, I just press Command Z so it goes back into position. It just ensures that I'm deleting the PNG versus the internal offset lines that I created. The reason why I did this is because when it comes to sending the sticker to cut, it gets difficult to select between the internal offset cut lines and the PNG's cut lines. Getting rid of the PNG altogether is going to leave you with just the internal offset cut lines to select, making your life a whole lot easier. I've gone through so many iterations in my process that this is the cleanest way I've created sticker sheets. Again, you do you. I feel like I keep saying that, but I just don't want you to feel pressure to do what I do. All right, let's keep going. We're almost at the finish line. I select the entire thing, I duplicate it, then I rotate them so it could fit 2 in one 8.5 by 11 page. Then I print this from here. I have an Epson ET-2850 and I choose the glossy paper setting and do best print. I'll have the paper and all the materials that I use in the description box below. Congratulations, because I feel like one of the hardest parts are done and now you gotta fight with your printer. I'm just kidding, you don't have to fight with your printer. I think I only fight with my printer when I try to be as cheap as possible. I never understood the hype of online labels. This is not sponsored, but I finally ordered it because I wanted to test it out and, you know, show the people. But this sticker paper, it's really good. I get it now. I have an Epson ET-2850 currently. When I load the paper in, it doesn't get jammed and it doesn't print out weird or get streaky. So try it out. But of course, if you don't have the budget for it right now, one of my previous videos on how to make die cut stickers, the paper that I got was from Amazon and it was kind of hit or miss. I think it was just maybe the way that I stored it. Whenever I'd feed it into the printer, it would jam and it would frustrate me so badly. So I'll show you how I work around that. Say I have this pack of sticker paper. You see how it's curved like this? This is not good. It's curved. So this is the print side. And this is the non-print side. If it's curling towards the non-print side, I realize that's when I have a lot of trouble. So I take a stack of paper like this, and I want to reverse the curl towards the print side. So this is the print side, the glossy side. I'm going to curl it towards that side. I don't know if you can see it. So I'm going to flatten it against something. And it's easier with a stack of paper. I'm going to start curling it towards the print side. So that way when you feed it into the printer, it doesn't act up. And of course, it's not going to be perfect. And I'm also going to kind of massage it in this U shape, just so, again, the entire paper curls more towards the print side to straighten out the paper. The purpose of this is to straighten out the paper as much as you can because you're trying to offset how it's been curled away so that when you load it into the printer, it's a lot easier. So there you have it. Easier, but I'm not going to use this. I'm not going to waste my time or my tears right now. I'm going to use my online labels stickers. I got 2 different kinds. This one's white gloss for inkjet, and there's one weatherproof, but these are the numbers. You can see the numbers. This is the product number for the one that I'm going to use. And then the weatherproof one is this product number behind. She's so pretty. Now I'm going to load in my printer paper. And for my printer, apparently I shouldn't close it all the way. I just leave it like this.
Side note, whenever I use the other sticker paper, I can hear the paper splitting. So let's say this is the layer of the backing of the sticker sheet. This is the sticker paper. I can hear the sticker paper separating from the sticker sheet, and you just hear this like brushy, like bristly, rough sound in the printer, and that's not good. But these sticker sheets are pretty good, so well worth the price because you're not crying.
Once I'm done printing out my sticker sheets, I put it on my cutting mat. Once I found the right position, I use this roller to just remove any air bubbles. And then I feed the mat into the cutting machine. This is the cut setting that I use for Kiss Cut stickers, which just means that it doesn't cut all the way through and create individual stickers. It just needs to be enough force for it to cut through the sticker sheet, but not too much that it slices all the way through. You can refer to my previous video for how I go about good practices when it comes to sticker cutting, but the main thing is always have a test sticker sheet when you try out cuts. You will save so much time and money and tears. My blade is a little older, so my force is a bit heavier than what most people would use. But each machine is different, and the age and use of the blade will affect the cut settings. So try out my settings, and if it sucks, test out different numbers on your sticker paper, on your test sticker paper. Once your Kiss Cut lines are cut, you're going to go back to send and press no cut for all your sticker elements. Then you click the rectangles and press cut. You're going to change your settings and you want to cut through the rectangles. If you want to maximize your sticker paper, save these scraps and use it to label storage containers or whatever you want. The fun part, the packaging. If you want to ensure that the stickers aren't floppy on their own and you want to sell them, you can get cardstock or chipboard and cut it down to a 4x6 piece. You'll place the sticker sheet on that, and then you can slip both of those into a 4x6 cellophane sleeve. And this is the finished sticker sheet. You made it. If you made it this far, can you please comment your favorite emoji down below? Maybe something purple. Let me know in the comments. Tell me what you're going to use these sticker sheets for as well, or what theme you're going to do. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. Your time is very important to me, and I hope you'll stick around. I'll see you next time.